Well, today's the 10th of April and we've come up into the mountains. We're going hiking. All the children are hiking ahead of us. I think we'll be the slow coaches at the back. But it looks a beautiful day. It's a bit cool, so perfect day for a little hike into the woods, into the mountains here in Majorca. We're just above Orient, just on the other side from Bunyola. And it's a proper path that we're going on. Well, proper in as much as it's a path. It's a bit rocky, but we should be fine. I've got myself a little walking stick. It's my monopod for my cameras. I use that as a walking stick, and I'm sure Anita will be saying, "Be careful. Watch that stone."
Lots of stones.
But really pretty area. Lots of nice shade. And I can see a problem straight ahead already. I've got to climb over a stile. That should be fun. So up and over we've got to go. Just watching me to do it first. Oh, look at that. Easy peasy. My turn. Camera's going off now. So I managed to do that okay. The rest is just going to be easy. Well, we'll see. I'll bring up the rear. Goats. So we've already seen some sheep. Sign there warning us that there are goats ahead. Some of these goats here in the mountains get really quite big, and lots of them. So they do have to cull the goats. So when we say there's a walk, this is it. This is what we mean. This is the hiking, and it's not a bad path really. We've had some rain over March, a lot of rain. Hopefully that's all soaked into the mountains, and we will hopefully see some water in the waterfalls down below. We saw some people where we parked the car putting on the wetsuits, and they go canyoning, so they'll be following us along in a moment, and they actually go down the canyons and get freezing cold water poured over them. I don't think we'll be doing that. We have brought a picnic, so all being well, find a nice spot to sit down and have our picnic. But just walking through, we're just going to enjoy the countryside. So to get here, we drove up through Palma on the road to Soller, and before we get to the tunnel we turned off to Bunyola, and then we drove all the way through Bunyola towards Orient, and the road becomes very narrow, very steep and very twisty, lots of hairpin bends to negotiate, and a few cyclists, quite a few cyclists actually, so you just have to watch out for them. And then once you get to the top of the hill, you start heading down towards Orient, and that's where we met the family, and this is the path that comes from the road. So there's parking there perhaps for half a dozen cars, and maybe a few more a little bit further down the road. But we've come fairly early. It's what time is it, darling? Can't see your watch. I'll look at mine. 20 past 10, quarter past 10.
I have done this walk before, actually.
You have done this walk before? Yes. Oh, she has. So here we've got some loose stones underfoot, and they're actually a bit worse for me than the others. Anyway, we're managing, and they've all shot ahead, so we just slowly make our way along. If you're coming in the summer, it can get very hot along here, so you need to make sure you've got plenty of water, hat, sun cream. We've got all those today, and it isn't even summer. It's actually quite cool and chilly as we were driving up. As you go up into the mountains, the air temperature goes down, and the windows in the car were steaming up. So really quite perfect temperatures really for hiking. A good way to get some exercise and fresh air. Just keep an eye out where I'm putting my feet and not noticing where I'm putting my head. There's low branches. Good job I've got my hat on. As we were driving up, Anita says, I hope there's a cafe where we can go for a coffee.
No, it's not. I hope there's one at the end.
About the closest you're going to get to it at the end is a waterfall, which may or may not have water in. We'll see. I think I've only ever done this once before, and I don't think there was any water in it then. More low branches. But beautiful, beautiful scenery. I'm going to turn the camera off now, and I'll put it back on if we come across something of interest. Just catching up with a family now, and there's a little bit of a fork in the road, but we take the lower one. And here's one of the water. No water in it today though. I think it's probably before. But there is a remains of an animal in there. We're going to make our way down. It's a little bit more rickety down here. Just to the side we've got fields that are farmed, and there are remains of buildings. Actually, where we're walking now, you can see here there's a wall, and in front a shell of a house or shelter. Starting to hear lots of birds as well now, which is quite nice. So, yeah. Wall there, nothing much else. was something of a house or barn, or not sure. There's a window ledge up there which has been carved out, shaped, and there's an arch of a door that's been sealed up, and then some other parts of buildings down here, just all completely derelict and in ruins. Very quiet, very peaceful down here. Looks like the family are waiting for us again.
It's a style.
So this is our first sign of water. It's coming down from the mountains here. It's crystal clear. And it is flowing very, very gently. Just the area we've got to now, we can see some really quite large boulders, and they've said you know where these boulders came from. They came from up the mountain. Hopefully it's not falling down today. The children have just had great fun having their photograph taken sitting on top of one of them. This is all of course quite relative, so it's big to us, but lots of big ones up here. And boys will be boys, so boys are climbing up on top of the big boulders. Oh, consulting the map. I think it's this way. Well, Anita and the family are jaunting off up and up. It's a bit more rickety and it's quite steep, and there's a cave at the top, so kids are really excited about that. Unfortunately, sorry, I'm not going to take you up there. I'm not worried about getting up, it's worried about coming down with the ricketiness of the stones. So you can see where they've gone all up there, but on the way back we've got to go back down there, so enough time for me just to sit, relax and enjoy the scenery, and I'll catch up with you in a few minutes time.
That is a long way down.